Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly right where you're sitting. How long have you been struggling? Not how long have you been married? How long has it been a struggle? And the struggle is real because most couples, there are two different numbers here. Researchers who study marriage have found something that will stop us in our track. The average couples wait about 6 years after struggling or trouble before they ask for help, before they reach out. 6 years. And even couples who are moving forward, the ones who don't wait that long, they still sit in there about 2 to 3 years, but they say the word to anybody. I'm talking about years of tense dinners, years of conversation that goes nowhere, years of lying in the bed feeling like strangers. And nobody knows, not their friends, not their family, not their pastor, no one. So today I'm going to talk about why we wait so long. Because I don't believe it's because help isn't available. I believe it's because what is happening in our hearts. So let's start with this pride. Now, when I say pride, you might think I'm talking about that arrogant person, someone who thinks they all got it figured out, but that's not really how pride shows up in a marriage. In a marriage, pride shows up, it sounds like this. We can handle this ourselves. It's not that bad. Other couples have real problems. This is just a tough patch. See, we got all those kind of reasons. Pride doesn't announce itself, it disguises itself as self-reliance. It disguises itself as patience. It disguises itself as faith. And we're just gonna pray about it. Now, hear me now. Prayer is not the problem. Valerie and I have prayed through every season of our marriage, and I will never tell you to stop praying. But sometimes we just gonna pray about it really means I don't want anyone to see what is exactly is going on in the house. So let me just kind of guide you here along. James chapter 4, verse 6 says, God is opposed to the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. I thought about this verse a lot. And grace flows through humility. And I'm asking, am I asking for help? Saying out loud, we're struggling and we can't fix this alone? This is one of the most humbling things a husband and wife will ever do. Now, let me talk to my brothers and sisters in the church because we have our own version of this problem. Somewhere along the way, many of us pick up the idea that a Christian couple isn't supposed to struggle. We see couples around us. They look fine, they're smiling, they're serving, and we think, what's wrong with us? So we pick up on that same smile. We serve in the same ministries and we drive home in silence. But you know what? The real deal is this. The church should be the first place a struggling couple run to, but too often it's the last place they ever admit anything. Church is the last place. We're afraid somebody would think our faith is weak. We're afraid of what people will say. But let me tell you what scripture actually says. And in Galatians 6 and verse 2, it says, carry one another burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. We can't carry a burden nobody else shows you. God designed his people to need each other. A struggling marriage isn't evidence that our faith has failed. It's evidence that we are human and that we're never meant to do this alone. Here's another reason why couples wait. We tell ourselves it's going to get better on its own. Once this season at work calms down, once the kids are a little older, once the finances level off, we treat the distance in our marriage like a cold, that it will pass if we just get some rest. But distance in a marriage doesn't work that way. Drift doesn't correct itself. Drift compounds. The conversation you didn't have this year gets harder to have next year. The wall that went up brick by brick doesn't come down because you waited. Valerie and I have learned this in our own home, not because we did everything right. We did. Believe you me, we did not do everything right. But we gave it everything we had. And there was still seasons where we needed wisdom from the outside of our own walls. A mentor, a counselor, a couple further down the road than we were. And then, in that verse in Proverbs 11:14 says, where there is no guidance, a people fall. But when there's an abundance of counselors, there is safety. And not just for a nation and a business, but that's for marriage also. Now, here's the reason underneath all these other reasons. And the one we don't say out loud. We're afraid of what asking for help might undercover. Because the moment you sit down with someone and start talking, telling the truth about your marriage, you're not just talking about your spouse anymore. You're going to see yourself. The words you say, the walls you built, the years you spent waiting for them to change instead of letting God change you. That's frightening. And I understand it, my friend. But here's what you want to see here. What gets undercover when you ask for help? It's already there. It's already shaping your marriage. It's already shaping your home. The only question is whether it stays buried and keep doing damage in the dark, or whether it comes into light where it can be healed. We want to expose these things. Jesus said it plainly. The truth shall set you free. He didn't say it would be comfortable. So come back to where we started. How long have you been struggling? If the honest answer is months or years, and then I want you to hear this, not a lecture, but as an invitation. Asking for help is not the end of your marriage. It's not the end. And we act like it's over when we reach out for help. It's the best thing you can ever do. It's the beginning. It's the intent of all along. It's the one of the most, let me just say it like, it's one of the most courageous investment you would ever make with each other. You start somewhere this week. Talk to your spouse. Reach out. Talk to your friend. Talk to your pastor. Reach out to a counselor, a couple you can trust who's further down the road than you are. And if you don't know where to begin, Val and I would be honored to help. Now, you want to go to our website, marriageinvestors.net. You can find there biblical and practical tools for every season of your marriage, including the struggling ones. The link is in the description. Don't let pride buy another year of silence. Don't let shame keep you in the dark. God is not finished with your marriage, but He works in the light. And I'm Sal Bonner here at Marriage Investors, and we'll see you next time.